Alright guys, welcome back to the shop, and today is Sunday. So anyway, I've been down here this morning. I thought I might get some priming done, but I sanded a little on the fenders yesterday evening, and I thought, well, this morning I'd come down here and prime them up right quick. But I didn't look at the other fender very good, and where I had already done some primer etching, it was starting to have a little rust under it, so I ended up having to sand that back down and re-etch it. So I got to let it dry for at least an hour. It's pretty cool down here. You can see I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. For October, it's probably in the 40s this morning. It's not as windy as it was yesterday, so it feels pretty good. So I wanted to answer a viewer's concern about some paint. On a previous video, I mentioned that I was going to be trying to reuse some blue paint that I sealed. It's in a sealed container. It's already mixed 1-to-1 with a reducer. And Mossman, he had a concern that the pot life on it was, might not be no good. And I've used that paint like that before and didn't have any problems. But, I got to thinking about pot life and what all that, how long does it last? So I got on Shopline's website and I copied off their technical data sheets. As far as the base coat goes, this stuff has an indefinite pot life as long as it's sealed and kept, clean and all that. As long as it's sealed, and you can stir it every now and then, but it's got an indefinite pot life, so I'm not worried about the base coat. Now, one thing I did get worried about was with the clear coat. Now, I've run into this issue. The clear coat, you only have 24 hours after you spray your base coat to clear it. After that, you've got to re-scuff your base coat and reapply it. And I've probably went a lot longer than 24 hours between painting the blue and clearing it. I probably went 2 days. So I'm kind of worried about the clear coat peeling on me. But, what can you do? You got to just keep going because, I'm not going to repaint everything. I ain't going to strip everything down and repaint it. But now I know. I wished I'd had these to start with. But you got to allow the base coat color to dry a minimum of 30 minutes and a maximum of 24 hours before clearing. Alright. The clear coat only has a 3 hours, a 3-hour pot life. So, and that is the JC 6700 HS European clear coat. Now, the high build primer surfacer, which is so hard to clean out of the gun, it only has a pot life depending on how much reducer you mix. Now, I hadn't been putting any reducer in mine, but you can go up to 4 to 1-to-1. 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer. And if you go 4 to 1-to-1, you got an hour pot life. The way I've been mixing it, I've only got 20 minutes at 70 degrees, and it's been 90 degrees, so it probably ain't but 10 minutes. That's probably why I'm having such a hard time getting it out of my gun. Alright. So on the primer, if you air dried it at 4 to 1, it's an 8-hour minimum. But you can top coat it between 1.5 to 3 hours. You can sand and top coat it. And then on the epoxy primer, when you mix epoxy primer, you can mix it 2 to 1 and up to a half. half a reducer. I hadn't been using a reducer. I just been using primer and hardener. And once you mix it up, you want to allow it to sit for 15 minutes before applying. You've got an 8-hour pot life at 70 degrees, so at 95 degrees probably only had 3 or 4 hour pot life. Okay, dry times, 2 coats, is about 30 minutes at 70 degrees. And if you allow the primer to sit for more than 72 hours, you have to scuff it and reapply it. I think I did remember that. I only had 72 hours. Now I put the primer down to putting the base coat on it. So I was fine with that. It's just the clear coat that I'm probably going to have problems with. So what I'm planning on doing today is I'm going to give this etching primer about an hour to dry, and maybe a little more because it's kind of cool in here. I did run my heater a little bit, just kind of knocked the chill off, but not really in the paint booth. And then I'm going to come back and spray the primer surfacer on the front, on the outside of the fenders, the one where it shows. I'm not worried about the inside. I'm just going to seal them with epoxy and go from there. But once I spray the primer surfacer, then I've got to let it dry. I'm going to go ahead and reduce it a little bit, but I'm going to let it dry about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours before I start sanding it. And that's going to put me, it's about 9 o'clock now. So if I got to wait till 10, 11, 12, 1, it's going to be about 1:30 or so before I can sand it. And hopefully I won't have to do any filling. But if I have to do filling, then I'm going to have to fill it, let that dry, sand it, re-primer or whatever, and then I can seal it. And once I seal it, like I say, I got 72 hours in at that point. That's a big old stick. But the sealer dries within 30 minutes. So I can always go ahead and I can seal it this evening. Probably go ahead and do some rest of the painting on it, maybe. I want to seal both sides, so it's going to be a little more difficult, but I think I can go ahead and try to at least get it sealed today and paint it tomorrow, hopefully, if I can't get it painted today. So anyway, guys, that is the update. I'll show you what the fenders look like, and we'll call it a wrap. Alright, so here's the fender that I had to do some work on, and I've patched a little area right here, and I'm thinking I might be a little bit low right in here, but the rest of the fender, it don't look bad. I don't see any dents. Of course, I hadn't block sanded either. This one wasn't in near as bad shape. It did have some Bondo up in this area, and I just kind of redid it, but sanded on a little bit. And right in here is where they had some surface rust trying to pop through the etching primer, so I re-primered that. And then I was going to go ahead and prime this up, but unfortunately I got some fish eyes. So I'm going to wait for this to dry. I'm going to re-sand this off, and then we'll go from there. And I ain't done nothing to the glove box. So, yeah, it pissed me off seeing them fish eyes. So that's where we're at. And, of course, I got the truck covered up. I went ahead and got the door back on it yesterday, just kind of temporarily, where I could wrap it. And so, it's good to go. I still got a lot to do on it, but alright guys, so anyway, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you can.